Okay, so I think we are ready to start. We have already a big bunch of people joining the session. Let me introduce myself already. Again, my name is Enrique Salgado Hernandez, and I am working as a specialist solution architect for Amazon QuickSight. And today I will be presenting this session about visual embedding. Let me move the slides. So basically, this is part of our learning series for this year of multiple sessions that different colleagues of mine are presenting about the different aspects and functionality that QuickSight has to offer to our customers. We are focusing each session on a very specific topic, just to make it super concise, like a knowledge build for you guys to get familiar with individual aspects of the QuickSight functionality. Today, we are going to speak about visual embedding. It's one of the options of embedding that we have in QuickSight. And as in the other sessions for this learning series, we will be answering questions online and offline using our QuickSight community. The QuickSight community, for those that you don't know about it, is a space that is absolutely dedicated to QuickSight, where you can post your questions. Also, we will be answering the questions. Different members of my team and also collaborators and experts in QuickSight are constantly reviewing the community in order to answer questions that you may have. The other cool thing about the community is that actually I will show you how the community looks like. So here in the community, you will be able also to see not only the different questions and answers. You will also be able to see the different options that we have for learning. You can subscribe or you can check the latest functionality that we are adding to QuickSight, and a lot of more information. And also you can take a look to the different events. So it's a very useful resource for those using QuickSight to develop. And in this case, for the questions, the only thing that we are asking you is just to register to the community and make sure that you are posting the questions. Posting a question is as simple as getting into the question and answer section and adding a new question. Okay. So we will be asking you to tag the question using this tag, so we can review it and answer it properly. Also, it's the first year of our QuickSight community. It's a community that, as I was mentioning, we put for our users, for our QuickSight users. So we got really good feedback from our users regarding it, and we hope you enjoy all the functionality that the community has to offer. This session is going to be recorded. We are going to include this session in the QuickSight YouTube channel that we have, so you will be able to see this recording at any time whenever you want. And without any further delay, I am going to move to the next, to the agenda. What we are going to cover today. We are going to cover why we may need to do embedding, the different types of embedding that we have. Visual embedding is just one of the different types of embedding that we offer, and then I will show you a little bit about.
So, just to interrupt, yes. Enrique, the presentation is not on full screen.
Oh, sorry about that. Just give me a second, because I think now you should be able to see it.
Yeah, this
right?
is perfect. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. So now, talking about the agenda, we will be also covering the embedding APIs. And then I will be doing a demo in order to give you also a little bit of ideas of what you can do with visual embedding. So let's go to it. First of all, why we should be using embedding when using business intelligence? Well, I mean, in traditional BI and in the different consoles that we have for the different tools, normally the console looks like this. So the user will get access to a console where he or she will need to sign in, and also the experience will not look personalized with our brand or with our look and feel. This is great when you want to offer this experience to internal users, but maybe it's not that good customer experience when you are offering these dashboards externally or to external users, because maybe you don't want the users to log into your business intelligence tool, or maybe you want your website to be consistent. I mean, you want your graphs to fully fit the design of your company or your website. Basically, what you may want is something like this. So again, we are embedding QuickSight. I mean, these are some of the visuals and controls that we have in QuickSight, but it's true that it doesn't feel like you are using a BI tool. It feels that you are in your own company system. You have your company look and feel, and basically the experience for the user is way more. Okay, so here basically with traditional BI, we require our users to go into the console and log into whatever system they need to get, log into the business intelligence system. In this case, what we are going to offer the customers is the option to log into the system where the data is being generated. So let me show you a little bit how it will look like. So you can see the difference. If on the left, the user is logging into our system, the system that contains our branding or our company, and he or she needs to provide a user and a password that may be external to our company, because this user may not be an employee from our company. On the other side, let me show you here, he or she will be signing into the BI tool. So normally we want to have different experiences for different type of users. So basically, business intelligence will meet the users wherever they are. So in this case, the user will log into the console, into your application, sorry, not into the console, and then they will get the visuals directly in the web application under your application or under your company logo. This is the reason why most of our customers are using QuickSight for embedding use cases. They develop the dashboards in the console, but in the QuickSight console, but then when they need to offer these dashboards externally or even internally, they embed it in their own systems and platforms. This guides us or leads us to the next section of our presentation, which is the different type of embedding. We can embed the full dashboard. I mean, is it possible to embed the full dashboard experience? Is not what we are going to cover today, but I wanted also to give you an overview of the different embedding options that we have. We can also embed the analysis editor embedding. So in this case, you will see that we are embedding into our website with our branding the full dashboarding experience or the full dashboard authoring experience. And also we can embed the full QuickSight console experience. So let's say that we want to offer our authors the experience of the QuickSight console embedded in our company application. And then what we have is the visual embedding. Visual embedding is what we will be covering today. And in this case, you can see that what we will be doing is we will be embedding individual visuals that the user will be able to interact with. So here, for example, in this particular one, you can see that the hover pop-ups, the user actions and things like that are still available for the users, but we are embedding just one single visual. Okay. In order to embed the different visuals that we have in QuickSight, we need to use the embedding APIs. And here, basically, we have two options to embed our visuals. The first one is using the one-click embedding. We are going to see this during the demo. And the other option that we have is using the embedding APIs. The main difference between this is that with one-click embedding, we will be able to do it extremely quickly. It won't be requiring any coding from our side, and the look and feel of the embedded application will look very well. When we use the embedding APIs, it will allow us a higher grade of customization. So, for example, with the new APIs that we have released recently, you can do async calls, for example, in order to embed your visuals. You can customize the loading animation while the visual is loading. You can keep the persistence of the different filters that the user has selected in the visual. You can also respond from your application, from your embedding application, to the user interaction in the visuals and the other way around. So we can communicate the visual that has been embedded with the application that is embedding the visual. So this is a higher level of integration that comes also with a little bit of more coding. But we will see during our demo that I will be doing now that it's not complicated to get started with these different APIs. And actually, I will show you how to deal with them. Let me now switch the screen for a moment, and I will be sharing the demo that we are going to have today. Okay, so let me switch now to my browser. And here, what I have prepared is, first of all, we will be using a dashboard that I have created. As you can see here, I have a dashboard where I have where I am showing graphs of different user population within my company. I have individual widgets or individual visuals that I am using in this dashboard. I also have the full dashboard experience. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to start working with the one-click visual embedding. If you remember, this allows us to easily integrate our visual in our application. For that, I have here one website where I have coded a very simple HTML application that you can see in here. This is just, as you can see, it contains one iframe that you can see here and another iframe that you see here. Let me delete these ones for the moment, okay? Because we are going to basically fill these gaps with information that is going to come directly from the console. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upload the new version of my website so you can see it in real time. So okay. So now if I open the index website, you will see that basically I don't have anything. Now let's go to my console. Let's say that I want to embed one single visual. Let's pick this one, okay? The only thing that I will need to do is I will need to click here on Visual Embed, Embed Visual, and this will come up here to the right with some information that will be relevant, especially for developers. we are going to have a dashboard ID, which is useful information that we need to take into account, a sheet ID, because this dashboard or this visual, sorry, is located within a particular tab, and also a visual ID. And also here you can see that I have a code for embedding the iframe directly. So if I switch directly to our website and I start adding this information, sorry, because I need to click on copy code just to get the full thing. You will see that QuickSight automatically generates an iframe and an URL. Also, it is worth to mention, sorry, because I didn't mention that this dashboard, in order for to have some simplicity, has been marked as public. Okay, so this means that I can embed this dashboard, and I won't be requiring the end user to authenticate himself. Okay, this is optional. You can also make it private, and basically, whenever you embed the visual, QuickSight is going to prompt for the user to authenticate in QuickSight if you want. Okay, if you need that option. Now I will save my version, and I can see that basically, if I reload the page, automatically QuickSight is embedding the new the dashboard that I have, sorry, the visual that I have requested. Here, for example, in order to make it a little bit more beautiful and integrated within my website, maybe I need to consider also increasing a little bit the width, because let's try with 1,200 pixels. Okay, and then you can see how easy it is to start embedding visuals in QuickSight, and also the look and feel that you are getting. Okay, so we are getting a very nice integration with a few clicks and with almost no coding experience. The only thing that you need to have is a little bit of HTML knowledge. Now let's go and embed the full dashboard. In order to embed the full dashboard, QuickSight also allows us with tools that allows us to embed the dashboard easily. Here, when I share the dashboard, I can share it with other users in the platform, but also I have here a tool or a helper that allows me to copy the embed code for the full dashboard. I will take this code and I will put it in here. Again, I'm going to put this a little bit wider, so let's make it. And now let's upload it to S3 and let's see how it looks like. So here you can see that now I get access to the full dashboard. It is as simple as this. Also, here it is working, and actually you can check this URL if you want for any user, because I am not requiring authentication for QuickSight. The only reason why this is this way is because this dashboard is available for anyone in the internet. It's public. If I disable this option, QuickSight will show a pop-up for the user to be authenticated. So it will only show for those users that have access to this dashboard or this visual. Okay, so here you may agree with me that, I mean, it's easy, but it doesn't look very integrated within our application. So what I wanted to show you with another example, which is Index 2, is how you can add a little bit of customization to your website. In this case, for example, I will open it here in a separate tab. What I am doing is I am embedding the two dashboards, but also here I am adding my own look and feel for my website. So here you can see how you can start still using no code, just using the one-click embed functionality, you can start integrating it with your application. For example, here, you can see that I am embedding this particular dashboard, or this particular visual, sorry, and below I am embedding the full dashboard experience. So this is something that you can also do. And if we go here to the code, so for example, I'm noticing that this particular element is not properly aligned. Okay, so I need to push it down a little bit. So what I can do is I can play with my CSS in order to make it a little bit lower. Okay, let's increase this so it looks good. So we are able to bring it a little bit down. Okay. So, sorry about that, because I thought, yeah, for some reason, it didn't pick up the change. Okay, so here, for example, you can apply your own CSS in order to make it a little bit more in line with your website style. So this is an example I wanted to show you about how to embed your applications or your dashboards within your web. Now, I see that there is a question. If you can post the question on the community, that would be great. Otherwise, you can also use the chat in the WebEx, and we will be answering that question if you want. And now, continuing with the demo, I will show you how to use the APIs. Okay, because here in these examples that you are seeing, the content is static. So I am basically embedding a single visual, or I am embedding the full dashboard. Now we are going to go to another example that I have built for this demo. That is going to be this one. Okay. So in this case, I am using a dynamic functionality. I am basically embedding the visual dynamically. How this works? Okay, first of all, I have created a very simple page here, and I am using the SDK for embedding a visual in QuickSight, in this case in HTML. So here you can see that first of all, I am importing the SDK for Java, and also I am using an API gateway URL in order to retrieve a pre-signed URL for this visual, for the visual that I am going to embed. Okay, so let me make a small pause in here, so I can show you a resource that you have available in the internet, which is developer.quicksite.aws, where you can see how to use embedding. So, for example, we are going to open this one, and here it speaks about the embedding process. In order to be able to embed a dashboard or a visual, because the procedure is exactly the same, first of all, you need to make sure that the dashboard or the visual has permissions, okay? We already did that. We made the dashboard public, and the user, or in this case, the web application, has permissions to call this API call. So generate embed URL for anonymous user, in this case, because I have not identified the user. The next thing that you need to do is you need to generate an embedding URL. Let me switch to Python. And here, for example, you can see that we are going to use the SDK in order to generate a URL that will be pre-signed by QuickSight, and will be also used in our application in order to embed the visual. This needs to be done at server side. Okay, so we need to make sure that we have an application or a server-side component that does this functionality. In my case, what I have is a Lambda function that whenever I request this URL via API gateway, it returns this pre-signed URL for me dynamically. I will show you the API gateway that I have. Of course, I use API gateway just to make it serverless, but you can use any server component or application server of your choice. So in this case, for example, I have a Lambda function that basically works as follows. So when I call the generate embed URL path in my REST API with the visual ID in the path, this will execute this particular Lambda, the Lambda that is going to return the URL for my dashboard, or in this case for my visual. Then once I have this URL returned, I need to take that URL and put it into my website. Okay, I can basically, this is putting the URL into an iframe. I can do this manually, of course. I can create an iframe and I can set using JavaScript the iframe URL based on the URL that I get from the server component. But our recommendation is to use the JavaScript SDK that we have for QuickSight. This basically gives you a lot of helper functions that allow you to configure different options for the embedding experience. So you can specify, for example, which is going to be the container that is going to host your dashboard, or in this case, your visual, which is going to be the height and the width. Very simple. But also you can enable the toolbar options, the undo and redo buttons, and things like that. So this is very, very useful. And also with the new SDK that we have launched, I think it was 2 days before yesterday. So I think it was at the beginning of this week. You have also some further functionality. Let me show you a little bit. So now with the new JavaScript SDK that we have launched, this was the 9th of March, you are able to make these API calls in an async way. So basically, you don't need to block your web application while QuickSight is embedding the experience. Also, you can render a loading animation, a customized render animation of your choice. Another thing that you can do is that you have different new callback methods on the SDK. So basically, you can detect when a particular parameter within the dashboard or in a visual has changed, and make your application to react to that change. Okay. Also, you can detect when we have added some events in order to control the different errors that may occur during the embedding flow. So, for example, there is not an iframe that was created, or you have provided an embedded URL, so you can react and you can work on the exception as needed. You can monitor the different interactions that you have in your embedded dashboards, so you can understand how the users are using the dashboard. Also, you can understand if there is any issue. So let's say that, for example, you are deleting a visual or a dashboard that has been embedded in a web application in QuickSight, which basically is causing that web application to fail. You can now monitor these things. You can also initiate the dashboard print directly from the application. The user doesn't need to click on the print that is located in the dashboard. And also you have the state persistence for the dashboard. Okay, so basically whenever a user has selected a particular set of filters in your dashboard or in your visuals, if your user changes to another visual or to another dashboard in your embedded application and then comes back to the original dashboard, the original dashboard filters will be persistent. So these are a lot of different enhancements that were released during this new version of the JavaScript SDK, which is another reason for using the SDK when using embedding in your application. Going back now to my application, or in this case to my index HTML file, you can see that I'm already using the async operations of the new JavaScript version that allows me to do this type of customization. Here, basically, what I will be doing is I will be instantiating the embedding context. I don't need to block my thread in order to wait for this embedding context. I can continue with my flow. And once this embedding context is read, it's created, I can start embedding my visual. So here, basically, what is going to happen is that I will be calling this function, embed visual, directly when I click on the button. So you can see here that when I click on the button, I will get the visual ID from my visual ID input, and I will call the embed visual. Embed visual is going to call my API gateway. It's going to pass the visual ID and the dashboard ID. Okay, I have here hard-coded. In this case, I am hard-coding these parameters with hidden inputs. Of course, you can do it dynamically. And then I will start creating the embedding context. And once the embedding context is created, I will call this function, that is an async function, directly from here. Okay, so this is the way that you can use this is the way you will be using the new async functionality or the async support for the embedding SDK. Now let's take a look to how it looks. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to go to my original dashboard. I'm going to pick one of my visual IDs. So let's say that I want to embed this particular visual. I will get the visual ID. I will go back to my application. I will put it here, and then I will hit on embed. You can see that my application will be embedding this particular visual dynamically. Now, if, for example, well, let's wait for it to render. I'm using the standard render animation, but if I want, of course, I can customize, as we were seeing before, the render animation of my choice. Now, let's say that I want to go to a different one. I want to embed, for example, I will embed. Well, these are actually two visuals. That's why I'm not going to choose this one. And basically here I have some images already on top of a visual that is giving me this effect of a female and a male indicator. So I will choose an individual visual. So for example, let's pick this one. Okay. So embed visual. Okay. Let's show the embed visual, and I will get the visual ID. The sheet ID and the dashboard ID is the same, so I don't need to change them. Let's go here. Now let's delete this and go for the new visual. Actually, here you can see that is adding the new visual to my to my existing content. In this case, my web application is not replacing the visual that I already have. Of course, this is one thing that you can do. In terms of simplicity, I am just appending to my container the different visuals that I am adding here. So this actually allows the user to start adding visuals as needed. We are going to do it with a third visual. Let's go for this one. Let's copy this one. And now let's switch. And now we are going to add a third visual. So in this case, the user has been able to create their own collection, let's call it that way, of visuals to visualize. This is just an example, a very simple example, as you can. I think I have chosen the same one. Sorry, let me go back and make sure that I select the right one. Let's go here, embed visual, IDs, copy, okay. And now we are going to have one visual that is repeated 2 times because we like it a lot. And then hopefully we get the right visual. So as I was mentioning, this is just an example of how you can create a dynamic application for your users to start visualizing particular or individual visuals. I'm going to show you as well, just for showing you another example, a demo that we have available in Demo Central. Demo Central, I will be sharing the links at the end of this session. Demo Central is our website that contains multiple demos. It is itself an example of embedding, because you can see here that we have a website that as soon as I start clicking on the different examples that we have here, it will be automatically embedding. In this case, a dashboard. Okay, so this is actually an example of embedding. A cool thing about the Demo Central as well is that in any of these dashboards, you can click on this particular button and you will switch into the editor view. Remember, as we were discussing at the very beginning, that we are also allowing QuickSight users to embed the authoring experience. So this is very useful when you see a demo here that you don't understand how it was built. You can switch to this view, and you will be able to understand and play to see how it was built. The demo that I wanted to show you is this particular one, which is visual embedding. In this example, you can see that we have multiple visual, we have like a widget library here, maybe, and we can call it that way, that whenever the user is dragging here, what we are doing is basically we are embedding. So instead of using an input like we were using here of an ID and a button, in this case, our interface is going to be a drag and drop experience. But basically, what is happening behind the scenes is exactly the same. We are calling our embedding APIs in order to embed a single visual. This demo is here under feature demo, visual embedding, okay? And I really recommend you to take a look and play around with it. So this is basically what I wanted to show you for the demo. Now I'm going to switch again back to the presentation in order to finalize the different slides that I wanted to show before wrapping up. Okay, so as I was mentioning, there are several references or documentation links that we wanted to share with you. We were talking about the one-click feature that you can see in this particular link that we will be sharing with you. You can also check the embedding APIs if you want to create more customized and more enhancing experience for your users. Also, we recommend you to take a look to the AWS blog, where you can see how to embed individual users, the community as mentioned, the demo central. Here, you have a plethora of resources that you can use in order to continue with your learning about how to embed in QuickSight and how to embed visuals in QuickSight in particular. To appreciate your assistance or your you have joined this session today. Here, as you know, feedback is very important for us. We want to know how are you finding these different sessions, if you are finding them interesting. And also, we are really looking for your feedback in order to improve the experiences in terms of training that we are offering to our customers. Here you can see the links as well for the events in the community. So you can sign up for the next events. And also you can take a look to the past videos of the learning series that you have available in YouTube. And thank you very much for joining us today. This was all the content I wanted to share with you. And remember that if you have any questions, we will be answering them using the community.